Good afternoon. When you think about a king, what is it that comes to mind? What are the things that you're picturing in your mind? You probably, first thing is a crown. There's almost always a crown when it comes to a king. They may not wear it all the time, but there is a crown somewhere. Usually very elaborate, lots of jewels, probably big, maybe gold, but there's a crown somewhere. What else do you think of when you think of a king? Maybe you think of a scepter. Maybe not something that comes to mind or is visual these days, but it used to be that kings had scepters, these rods that they would hold, and it was a symbol of their power. What else? You probably think of long robes, beautiful colors, fancy clothes, big dinners, castles. All of these things come to mind when we think of a king. What you don't think about is a crown that is made of thorns. And what you don't think of is a scepter that is, instead of being held by the king, is held by others and is used to beat the king. And when you think of a king, you don't think of ratty, dirty clothes, being whipped, no servants, no kingdom, no castle. You don't think of any of those things when you think of a king, but that's what the Bible says the king looked like. In Matthew chapter 27, verse 29, they twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand, knelt in front of him, and mocked him by saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" The soldiers were doing that towards Jesus. Jesus was on trial. Jesus was being accused of being the King of the Jews, but faking that, of trying to trick people into believing that he was a king. And the punishment was going to be crucifixion if he was found guilty. But Jesus was the king. Jesus was the king over all, not a king in an earthly way, but a king sent from heaven to this world to suffer and to die for his subjects. That's what made the whole scene so hard to believe, so hard to understand, because Jesus was the king, but he was willingly going through this. He was willingly being mocked. He was willingly wearing that crown of thorns and suffering the blood and going to shed his blood on the cross to die, not just for those soldiers, not just for Pontius Pilate, but for you and for me. That king, Jesus, was doing exactly what that king wanted to do. He was suffering in your place. He was serving as your servant king. Truly a king, truly king over all, a king who loves you and who sacrificed himself for you. Until we see each other again, the Lord's blessings on your day.